This view of a highway collision captures the immense physical scale of an accident scene. In these moments, the immediate priority is always triage, securing the area and ensuring everyone involved receives medical attention. Once the scene is stabilized, the primary threat shifts to the disabled vehicles themselves. Stationary wreckage acts as an unpredictable obstacle in active traffic, forcing oncoming drivers into split-second maneuvers that can trigger a cascading series of secondary crashes. Clearing the road quickly is vital, but many drivers hold a dangerous misconception about how it should be done. They assume that if the car is already wrecked, simply hooking a chain to the bumper and dragging it to the shoulder is the fastest, most effective solution. Applying that brute force dragging method to a modern vehicle introduces a silent mechanical threat. The friction of pulling a disabled car can shred complex internal systems that may have easily survived the initial impact. Surviving the kinetic force of the accident is only the first hurdle. If the recovery isn't handled correctly, the rescue operation itself becomes the next major threat to the vehicle's survival. Modern automobiles, especially those with all-wheel drive or high-performance suspensions, are not designed to be dragged. These vehicles are engineered as complex, interdependent systems where the wheels and engine are tightly linked. In an all-wheel drive system, the transmission is mechanically linked to every wheel simultaneously. This design is excellent for traction, but it prevents the wheels from spinning independently of the transmission. When an impact compromises the frame or the axles, these mechanical linkages often lock up. The wheels become frozen in place, effectively turning the entire drivetrain into a single rigid unit. If a tow truck tries to forcefully drag these locked wheels across the pavement, that massive kinetic friction has nowhere to go. The stress travels straight back up the axles and slams directly into the internal transmission gears. This stress can shatter delicate gear teeth, ruin differentials, and pull the chassis out of alignment. Components that were untouched by the crash are suddenly being subjected to thousands of pounds of lateral force. Forcing a modern, damaged drivetrain to roll on the pavement risks turning a repairable insurance claim into a total mechanical loss. This profile view shows a heavy-duty flatbed truck, an intervention tool designed to bypass the mechanical risks of a traditional hook-and-chain tow. Using specialized hardware like this heavy-duty winch and chain, operators can carefully extract a car from a ditch or highway. Instead of being dragged behind a tow truck, the vehicle is slowly pulled up a hydraulic tilting platform. The physical advantage of this system is total elevation. Once the car is secured on the platform, all four wheels are kept completely off the road surface for the duration of the trip. This visualization shows the result. Because the wheels aren't spinning against the road, the kinetic stress on the internal drivetrain drops to zero. Even if the axles are shattered, the internal gears remain safe. This method is also the only viable way to transport vehicles with severe body damage, missing wheels, or deployed airbags that would make a rolling tow impossible. The flatbed functions as a stabilization tool, physically isolating the vehicle's mechanical systems from further kinetic stress while it's in transit. This inspection shows how closely adjusters examine an accident's impact. After the road is cleared, the focus shifts to finance, where every dent and mechanical failure is appraised to determine the car's remaining value. If an improper tow destroys the transmission, the vehicle's appraisal value plummets. Because this damage happens after the crash, the owner is often left to absorb the cost of a ruined drivetrain that should have been salvageable. To prevent these disputes, insurance companies rely on documented proof. Professional recovery teams provide a detailed paper trail, outlining every mile driven and every minute the car spent in secure storage, to prove that the vehicle's condition remained constant from the crash site to the shop. This documentation establishes a strict chain of custody. Keeping the vehicle elevated and stored in a secure lot protects it from theft and weather exposure, while providing the insurance adjuster with clear, untampered evidence for the claim. Prioritizing mechanical preservation on the side of the road directly supports your financial interests during the complex appraisal process that follows. If involved in a collision, your first priority is staying out of active traffic lanes. Once you are safe, use your phone to document the scene, taking clear photos of the vehicle damage and road conditions before anything is moved. When you call for help, clearly state your vehicle's make and model and describe the damage. This ensures the dispatcher sends the correct flatbed equipment, making you an active manager of your vehicle's recovery, rather than a bystander. By identifying these hidden mechanical risks, you can protect your property and bring a sense of order to a chaotic roadside emergency.